Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. We're now a few days into the second last month of the year, Av. It's a month of extremes. The lowest low was on the 9th of Av, the darkest day of the year. If there were ever a bad luck day, that's it. It used to be considered the Friday the 13th on steroids. It marks the day of the destruction of not just one of the two ancient temples, but both of them. It marks the day of the expulsion of the Jews from England. Yes, they were expelled from England in 1290. And the expulsion of the Jews, of course, from Spain in 1490, the Spanish Inquisition. And many are calling and cheering now for the expulsion of the Jews from their only homeland for the past 4,000 years and their elimination. And very few are saying enough already. The brink is widening. Iran is threatening a direct attack on Israel. And I haven't heard too many people saying, don't. Now, the 9th day of the 11th month mirrors the dark day in the U.S., the 11th day of the 9th month. Both considered the darkest days of their calendars, although to many, October 7th, Black Saturday, a modern dark day of infamy. The largest attack and murder of Jews since the Holocaust is overtaking the 9th of Av to many people. And here we are 10 months later. And the hostages have still not been returned. How many are still alive? No one sees them. No one talks to them. Very few are crying for their release. Now, this was also the infamous day that the chieftains, that is, the great leaders of the people, otherwise known as the spies, returned from the promised land in fear and failure. And set the bar so low for leadership, and that bar still seems pretty low today. It's also the day World War I began, and more, many more things. It is a sad day, and sadness is a pall that hangs over the soul. Eyes that are the windows, eyes that are the view, eyes that are the story, sad and deep as you, tears that are spoken words, tears that are the truth, tears that tell the story, sad and deep as you. And of course, the darkest day of the year is followed less than a week later by the 15th of Av, the day of love, considered the best day of the year, the happiest day, and the best day to get married on. Now, in our non-Hebrew calendar, it's the 13th for the worst day and the 19th for the happiest. Now, what a week of extremes that becomes. And what a couple of weeks of roller coaster emotion we're all in store for. And of course, one of the things that we've learned is that light brings change and elevation. So take a moment, light a candle, and bring some light into this dark day of the year. With the highs and lows of the month, there's always the opportunity to do self-examination. Do you accept yourself and reality as they are? Do you take the time to be inspiring, full of hope, gently helping others arrive at the truth? We all need help. Tackling difficult problems with serenity. It's a part of your potential. Just as being big-hearted, merciful, forbearing, carrying others with your strength. You're all of those things, and you can be all those things. You can be courageous and strong, but also gentle and humble. And that too is a potential in yourself that you can draw on. Don't keep it buried, my friends. We are actually here to help each other. We all have a common need and desire to come together as a group, to honor and pray individually, but while observing as a community. It's what we do. Come together. Right now. Over me. We have to come together. Let's come together. Now, although we're all different, there's still the one thing that makes us the same, and that is our need and desire to come together. We create. We have a sense of camaraderie. We form that collective consciousness of seekers showing faith. Any and all faith, because we accept everything. Love any and all love, because we accept all love. We are a true chavur, a fellowship. So we express our nature, kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, because that unites us all. Because we are a community. We are a community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. Even though together, we're always individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody in. Physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way at all to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community, so let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. Doesn't matter what it is, we all have a belief. It is a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe, and it is your goodwill. Your goodwill and your intention are the roots of what you control in life, of what you can correct when you go off course. It's your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. Yes, you need action, but it's your intention that sets the wheels going. Let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing, some renewal out to whoever you know that needs it, because healing and renewal are for everybody. Float through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. Think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. Not just for people. It is for our pets. It is for the earth. It is the healing of the world, of the tikkun olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. Part of that healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill to everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for those in need of assistance, because we pray for those who need prayer. We don't have to know them. We want health, recovery, good life for everybody around us. More than ever, let's send healing energy for the hostages still held by the animal terrorists, strangely supported all over the world for some reason, and I can't figure that part out. And for those closer to us, for AJ and Amin, for the Trident brothers, for Terry and Gary, Maria and Paul, for Roger and Pam, for Lucky Lucy, Gloria, Anura, for Fern and Johnny, Ken and Kathy, for Carla, for Jessica, for Mina, for Gabe, Charles, John and Maria, for Doria, Connie and Ronnie, for Tally and Mayim, for Luke and Barry and Danny and Nina, for all those suffering and in need. Let's not forget to include the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends. We all have them everywhere, for everyone you know in need, and for the whole world, and for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say Amen. Misha Barak. Let us all have our spirits renewed, because this is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Misha Barak, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. So let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now in ancient times, we were blessed with a very wondrous group of writings, and they were known as wisdom literature. I was reading some the other day. It flourished in the Near East, with some of the earliest actually being Egyptian, going back to the 3rd millennium before the Common Era. So it's really old. It revolved around understanding or attaining wisdom, something we can all strive for, and is most well known during the biblical period for books like Ecclesiastes, the Psalms, the Book of Job, Proverbs, and others. Wisdom is certainly something we're desperate for these days. And one of the early great biblical writers, and he's not, quoted by a lot of people, it was Ben Sirah. And he wrote about a group known as Chacham, which meant wise ones. And they were the original instructors of law and ritual. And from them came masters to learn from, which is how the teaching began. And that's actually where the word rabbi comes from, Rav, great one, master. Where are they now? I was reading this and I realized, wow, they are needed more now than ever. The people we're reading about are tired and looking for leadership. It's kind of like what's happening now. We're tired, we're looking for leadership. Emotionally, the wilderness is a place to be remembered with fear and trembling. It's a place that tried the soul of a nation. Kol hamidbar hagadol ve'anara hachu, all that great and fearful wilderness. Yes, God took care of them. He gave them food and all the rest, but the wilderness is a frightening place. The terror of the wilderness, the one we still carry within ourselves, is carried forward in Deuteronomy all the way to the Song of Moses, which speaks of the wilderness land, the waste of the howling desert. Tohu yalel yeshimon. We have survived the journey, and now we have the words. This week reading is the first of a new book, the last of the 5 books of Moses, a fascinating book that does not really belong. Devarim, the words. We all know it as Deuteronomy. Now, Deuteronomy is a Greek word, and it means second law, because it's a summary of much of what has already come. But it's more than a retelling of the law. It's Moses' farewell address. The man of few words at the burning bush has become a man of the words of God. This is a very different book. In fact, the alternate ancient Hebrew name for this book, that means second law, repetition of the law, was based on the Hebrew phrase Mishnah HaTorah Hazot, a copy of this teaching. And that's why we're not sure where it came from. It's either the only book actually written by Moses, or it was one of the books written by one of the kings, because the instructions to the king was he had to write down the teaching from the law. Now the journey appears over, but what people do not realize is the journey itself was the unifying element. The journey is actually never over. We're all still on the journey. The journey functions through time by its chronology of events, and space by the geographical placement of events along the route of travel. And it organizes episodes into a cohesive story. There's a connecting line with cause and effect, just like in life, so that they can be read both as individual stories and as a meaningful chain of events, one leading into the other. The episodes of the journey we read in the book of Numbers are much more clearly related to one another than from a lot of other books, like the Odyssey or the Epic of Gilgamesh, maybe even the Iliad. The journey has shown us a ragtag group of people turned into a nation. We see method to finding your way, through growth, rebellion, reconciliation, societal development, ethical law, spiritual law, practice, the things we each undergo on our own journeys through life. Yes, my friends, It is the journey that formed this nation. And so is it any wonder that one of the most important prayers in Judaism is the Tefillat Hodarach, the traveler's prayer? Not said by a lot of people, but anytime I travel, I would always say, "May it be your will, our God and the God of our ancestors, to lead us towards peace. Guide our footsteps towards peace. Make us reach our desired destination for life. Gladness, peace. May you rescue us from the hand of every foe and ambush, from robbers, wild beasts on the trip, from all manner of punishments that assemble to come to earth. May you send blessings in our handiwork. Grant us grace, kindness, mercy in your eyes, and in the eyes of all who see us. May you hear the sound of our humble request, because you are God who hears prayer requests. Blessed are you, Lord, who hears prayers. May we all be led to peace. May we all reach our desired destination for life." In the book of Deuteronomy, the book of words, pictures the last events of Israel's 40 years in the wilderness, and also the last events of Moses' life. It ends with Moses' death, which of course was the climax not found in Numbers. But how these books were put together, can account for some of that. The people are at the end of a journey. They're sitting on the banks of the Jordan River. They're at the border of the Promised Land in the plains of Moab. They're about to enter a new land and a settled life. Their leader is about to die. The acts of God, of Moses, and of the people are transferred to the background in this book, because this book solely belongs to Moses' words. Words are flowing out like endless rain. Paper cup slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Words are the most important thing we have. Words create worlds. Words move mountains. Don't ignore your gift of being able to use words. Deuteronomy 1:1. These are the words that Moses spoke to all the Israelites across the Jordan in the wilderness. 11 days from Horeb by way of Mount Seir. And it was in the 40th year. Now, did you notice that juxtaposition? How do we interpret this? 11 days, but it took 40 years. The irony, the waste, the necessity, the experience, the growth of a nation, the suffering that people went through, the need for there to be a new generation who had not known slavery. Maybe just the inability of humans to outgrow a trauma of mammoth proportions to an entire nation. And Moses reminds them of laws and of the Great Epiphany. But he does it in an extraordinary way. He says, "And I said to you at that time, Bachet Hachi." But none of these people were alive at that time. None of them were there for the Great Epiphany. We know that all the people standing before Moses now would have been under the age of 20 or unborn at the time of the events he's recalling in his speech. But Moses repeatedly speaks as though they were all direct participants in the event, or observers of the event, or the episodes that he talks about that they were all involved in. As Moses speaks, the people is simply imagined as a continuous entity. Not with our fathers did the Lord seal this covenant, but with us. We that are here today, all of us alive. In one sentence, Moses mixed the past, the present, and future generations all together. So in the end, it became a message for every generation who reads this text, including ours. As he recounts history to people he says were already there, Moses creates an equivalence between the solemn convocation and the defining experience at Sinai, repeatedly referred to as Yom HaGahal, the day of assembly, so that the latter-day Israelites listening to the book of teaching, Sefer HaTorah, will feel they themselves are reenacting that event. They were there. Simply reenaction. It is a very powerful method. And this gave rise to the midrashic notion that all future generations of Israel were already present as witnesses at Sinai, as the people are captured by the words of Moses. Now, in the last book of the Torah, Moses does far more than just give them the law. It's more than just a repetition. He gives history, law, great wisdom, all wrapped together. And in places, especially near its end, it's beautiful and inspired. It truly is a book of words. Words. They were the means of creation and the means of the great epiphany. In the beginning was the Word. And that word went from God to us. Where are your words going? Because they all go somewhere. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free. Be free. Honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light. Now live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, we're a community. We learn together. We celebrate with each other. We love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Please do. Learn to forgive. Learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life, and tell those you love that you love them. Use your words. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe. Remember, we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It's our intention, our kavanah, cause and effect. Everything's linked. You always have time to forgive and be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive all of those who have hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. The most important thing you can learn to do. The secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, and the world just as they are? Can you accept that life exists as it is without trying to control it? Because if you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. Keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being. Keep sharing. Keep shining. Keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love, because it's always in front of you. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart. Quiet your mind. Because the deepest source of your real power will lie in your consciousness, in your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief. And never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. Because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. You're never alone on your journey. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And listen to the voice of God. As he, she, it, them, they, whatever, talks to you. Remember, your connection to God and all that has been created in body and in soul is a part of you. It's a part of me. It's a part of all of us. It always was. It always will be. And remember, next week, we're going to be celebrating the festival of love. And love is the greatest power of all. If you hear the song that I sing, you will understand. Listen. You hold the key to love and fear. All of your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother, everybody. everybody together, try to love one another. Say I love you. It is the greatest power of all. The power of love will overcome the power of fear. Thank you for joining me, my friends. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.